That one is just absolutely beautiful. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Ghost Cats and Cryptids. Glad to see everybody here. I hope everybody's had a good week, nice weekend. It's actually, thankfully, the humidity broke here. So it's just been windy for the last 4 days. So, but other than that, it's been really, really nice. Long week of work along with other stuff. So I decided to keep the show simple tonight and just kind of go over the research that I've been doing over the last couple of weeks. Let me say hi to everybody real quickly, though. Curious, you were the first one in. Hey, how are you? And then we had John. Good to see you. Also, Papa Squatch. Whoa, Joe. Boom. So glad you guys could be here. Tyler, how are you? I'm good to see you. Are you working or do you actually have the day off? Or are you? Never know with you. You're always busy. Hey, Denny. Good to see you. D-Hoot in the house. Yay. Can't stay today. Sam's not covered. So somebody please keep an eye on. Okay, good to know. Thanks, D-Hoot, for actually checking in, though. Hope all is well. And your show's coming up on August 2nd. I'm doing a collaboration with the wonderfully talented, curious Cryptids. She's helping me out because I researched the animal aspect of it and got a lot out of it, but there's other stuff that I'm not positive on. So I reached out and was like, hey, would you be willing to help me with this? And of course, she was gracious enough to say yes. So, hey, BDA, you're in the house. That's great. Just so you know, I'm going to be making the homemade moonshine very, very, very soon. I just got my order in for the vanilla vodka that I want because I'm very fussy with that. And so, yeah, let's see. Miss Lacey, you suck. Okay. Wow. That's nice. Appreciate that. So yeah, I decided that I would just kind of go over the stuff that's been happening over the last few weeks. Hey, Tim, how are you? Good to see you. With a lot of you already know that I've had a couple sightings already, and then a photo that I was looking into. I did actually share that with the Vogels, and I shared it with the podcast crew and one of my other colleagues who likes to kind of just stay off to the side. He doesn't like to be in the limelight and stuff, just because I wanted to get opinions on it. And later on the show, I'm really hoping that I can bring it up without freezing again. Because last week I had, as most of you know, I had a major malfunction with Restream. Hey, Adam, my brother from another mother and father, as my daughter would say. Good to see you. Make sure you check him out. He has the Historically Haunted Vodcast on YouTube. He's all over Facebook. Make sure that you actually, everybody help each other out, like Papa Squatch Productions. I subscribed to that the other day. I'm really, really excited when I get all of these little notifications of different things that are going on. It's the community for the Richie B Podcast Network is just wonderful. We all just want to respect each other. We want to research respectfully. Everybody's allowed their opinion. It may not be the same, but there's not going to be any arguing, bickering. You just be you, and you've got all the support. So I wanted to say howdy again. So to start off, though, my week, like I said, at work was insane. I did close to 50 hours. It was just crazy. And then I was finishing up my Eastern Panther project, because I started that in the fall, collecting eDNA samples, sent them in, and there was a summer project. They asked if I'd be willing to do it again, so I did. I do not like the way that we collect it now. It's very difficult, the material that we have to use, the process of the protocols to get everything ready for the field and stuff. It takes a lot of my time. I was able to collect the samples though and get them sent out. We're going to have a meeting at the end of the month to try to figure out more natural ways to collect the eDNA from the environment itself, which I'm excited to do. Just work by Harbin Lake in Mason, Maine today. Crazy. Yeah. That's awesome. The weather is so nice all of a sudden. The wind, though, I would really appreciate if it slowed down some, because it's been really, really crazy windy. But other than that, I like the fact that there's no more humidity and stuff. BMO, good to see you. Yeah, they've complicated everything, right? Yeah, it's crazy, but I was able to get those samples sent in on Wednesday, so they're ready for what they need to do on Monday with them. I also had sent in, I mentioned it a while back on one of my shows, that I had spoken to a woman and collected a hair sample from an accident that she had where she hit an animal. She had reached out because at first she had thought she had hit a big cat. And then when I actually spoke to her face to face to collect the sample, she was kind of like, I'm not really sure, everything happened so fast. It was just a big gray blur, which was fine. I took photos of it. I collected the sample and I sent some of it with the eDNA stuff. Hopefully they can give me some type of answer to what it is, because when I put it into Google Images, it gave me 8 options of what the fur was, which was anything from a raccoon. It put down a domestic cat, domestic dog, coyote, a deer, a fox. I mean, it even went up to feral pig, hog, whatever you want to call it. So it was kind of like, okay, you're not giving me the answer I wanted. So I thought it would be kind of fun for the students to just practice with and see, kind of make it a what is this animal? Can you figure it out type thing when they're doing their work. But yeah, so I noticed though during the week, it has been like crazy. I have on Facebook the Eastern Ghost Cat Research page. I started that a few years back to kind of give people a safe place to discuss their sightings that they've had, that without the ridicule. I'm very particular. I end up you have to answer questions. If you don't answer questions, I decline immediately. And the whole thing is to just respect the rules, which is, you don't ridicule. If you don't agree with a person, just say it, but don't ridicule them on what they're saying. And I always ask if there's an interest in the topic and stuff. And throughout the last couple of years, I mean, there's not many members. I try to get it out, but a lot of people don't like to discuss the stuff. So that's like, okay, that's fine. You don't have to, whatever. But over the last 5 days, that page has blown up with people that want to join. And so I've been having to go through, and I always check profiles. I'm very, very cautious with letting people in, just because there is, everybody knows in this field, there's just so much ridicule. There's a lot of trolls. Hey, low down, Florida. How are you? It's good to see you. You guys, Friday night, if you guys missed it, please get over to YouTube and check out Stacy Brown's page. When they did the lives in the woods, it was insane and crazy. I mean, you had the lowdown doing his, you had Richie and Wojo doing theirs, you had Papa and stuff. I mean, it was just insane. It was so good. Those lives that they do, where it's different researchers in different areas and you keep checking in, they're incredible. You guys are fabulous. So yeah, so the page had been blowing up. So I've been, checking stuff. I mean, we do have new people in. I still have others to check out and stuff, but I was just like, it's been really, really weird. That happened. And then Tuesday, Hey, Sam. Yay, Sam. Thank you for taking some time. You have family in town, and I appreciate you stopping in to say hi. D Hoot said she is just checking in with us. She's not going to be able to stay, so she was asking people to kind of keep an eye on your page for you. So it's like she's going through everybody. Yeah, well, that's the thing. It's a project to see because of the sightings that we have and stuff. It's just one of those things that I had the opportunity to work on. Yes, BMO, that's what I'm doing. To try to see if any of these sightings, because I've had my own, if we can collect any airborne DNA for this. But we're going to be doing other forms of collecting eDNA in the future. The friend of mine, the colleague that doesn't like the limelight and stuff, he has done some up north with another research group with another, and he had those collected. He actually got back gray wolf, and he got back southern flying squirrel, which was actually really kind of cool. Oh, see. And Sam's putting down all of the information in chat. So make sure you guys, if you don't follow, click that so you can find out where everybody's at. Make sure to hit like and subscribe. We just keep helping each other out. That's what this is all about, is just helping each other out. And if you missed last night's show with Richie and Wojo, make sure you check that out again. Wojo show this week, I believe, is Wednesday again because they have a ball game. But back to topic, because like I said, I don't have the ADD, but I get distracted very easily, so it's like balloon, squirrel, whatever. It's, yeah, that's just me though. Hey, oh, Papa, LOL. Have you any crow recipes? Once you get DNA, those naysayers are going to have to eat it. Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying for. I'm not holding my breath because I have explained over and over and over again that these cats have large territories. They don't stay in the same spot for very long. That's why with this work, to me, it's crucial when I get sightings reports to get to the areas. And I was hoping like crazy that the person in Down East Maine would allow me access to the property so that I could try to collect some there. And that didn't pan out. And now, if I did get permission, it's been a couple weeks, so I don't know if I would actually find anything. So that's why I also want to, why we're looking into other forms of doing eDNA collecting, because like I said, the fan ones, it's a little difficult, but there are other stuff. I mean, I've been looking into doing the soil samples. I actually have to myself purchase the stuff that's needed. I have to be the one to get everything prepped and ready. So all they have to do is I send it to them and they analyze it. So they always make sure that they ask if I'm up for this, because it's all out of pocket. It's kind of crazy. Hey, TM Drake, how are you? Good to see you. And so Tuesday, I wasn't supposed to work. I did have to go in real quick because I manage a store, so I had to go in for one of the deliveries because Tuesdays are my terrible Tuesdays. But I had an employee that was taking the weekend off, so I had to switch the schedule around to cover her. And I went in, and when I was done, I went and collected the rest of my samples to get them ready to send in. But I decided, you know what? I haven't had time. I'm going to stop and visit my best friend and chat with her for a little bit. And while I was there, my phone went off and it was ringing and I didn't recognize the number. So I figured if it's anybody important, they'll leave a message. Sure enough, within 30 seconds, I have a message. So I decided, all right, I'll get in there and check it out. And I don't know who this gentleman was. He would not give his name. He said he would prefer, when I did finally talk to him, that he didn't get his name out there. But I had a phone call from a gentleman who was asking if I was the Jean Tewskbury who actually documented the sightings in the state of Maine. And he had one for me. He gave a brief thing, description of what he had seen and stuff. So I immediately stepped outside, called him back, and had a discussion with him, and he went over, the whole sighting that he had. His was back in 2017. It was in the Moosehead Lake region. And he said it was about 2:30 in the morning. He woke up to blood hurling screams. He goes, you would have thought a woman was being killed. They were just loud, blood hurling screams. So he got up out of bed and went out to his porch, and he was looking around trying to figure out where the noise was coming from when he see this large animal across the street walking. And at first he couldn't quite decipher what it was, because it's the middle of the night. And then there's a church diagonal from him that has one of the floodlights outside on the front, and the animal walked underneath it. And he said it was the biggest cat he'd ever seen. He goes, and when you looked at it, he goes, it was muscular, it was tawny, and the tail on that thing was long. He goes, it went down to the ground and dragged along and then curled back up. And I mean, he was just very he was just going over the story, and I was fascinated, because I never say, did you see a mountain lion? I always let them describe it. And his description was just amazing. So I asked him if he had like any estimates, like on height and stuff. And he goes, it was 2:30 in the morning. He goes, all I know is it was massive. He goes, and I'd say it was 5 years old. That's hard to say, because it's full grown. So anywhere from 2 to, the end of its life at 10 years or 12, which however long it can go. I mean, they're usually about the same size. They can get thicker depending on how well they eat and stuff. Yeah, they do, John. They have the same range. They can have a range that goes anywhere from P22s, which was 8 miles, to 150. Females, though, on the other hand, they only have a range that is 50 to 75. They usually stay close to wherever they're born. So it's a smaller territory. Mooncat Ops, good to see you. Wojo, Mojo. And so he was going over the description and stuff, and then he was saying the part that he figured was he was not the only one that saw it. He says, because the woman next door the next day, she had a truck pull into her driveway, and 2 gentlemen get out, and they had bloodhounds with them. And all he could hear was the fact that she was saying she had a small dog and she was worried. He did not state whether or not he knew if, what these guys were up to. He said it was just, he goes, it would be a guess. He says, so I don't know. He goes, I just found it extremely strange that the day after I had this sighting in the middle of the night, that this woman has people show up, and she's, and they went off into the woods the same way, the same area the animal did. So he assumes that he was not the only one to see it. But when I asked him, if it was all right to document, and he said, well, I've told you everything I know. And I said, that's fine. I said, would you prefer I leave your name? He said, I do not want my name on there at all. He says, nope. He said, he goes, I know what I saw. He said, and I just don't want the ridicule, because he has spoken to friends about it, and they just tell him that no, you didn't see that, which is sad, because that's what you get a lot of times. And yes, 80% of the time that people have these sightings, that it is a misidentification. But when you have that clear of a shot, when this thing is just across the street and it's under a floodlight, and you can see just how big, how muscular, and how awesome this animal is, it's very, very hard. Haven't found any evidence of a male, which I'm glad. Actually, Mooncat, I'd be more worried about the female with the cub, because they're more dangerous when there's a young one around. Most of the time, those animals, males or females, are skittish. They'll just run off. But when you have a cub involved, they can get nasty, and you won't even know it until it's too late. In a water preserve. Oh, cool. Where are you located at? What state? I'm just curious. That's all. Yes, Jackson says buy the merch. Hey, William, good to see you. Ready for a second? Anytime. I am a little busy, but I will make time. I had to reach out to somebody because I had somebody contact me a while ago. If you haven't seen it, there is an episode of Unexplained Maine on YouTube that I did for the Maine mountain lions. I was not happy with the title that he put on it because that was something I did not agree to, but it went over what I do before all of this. And and I guess he had so many people responding to it, and so many comments of people just putting their sightings in the comments, that he asked me if I would be willing to do another episode and actually take him to where I had my sighting. And I said, sure, I would be more than happy to. And anytime, William, just reach out and I would definitely be so happy to be on the show again. I had so much fun last time. Hey, Kurt W. Good to see you. How are you feeling, William? Are you doing okay? It's been a while since I've actually talked to you and everything. So I just want to make sure. Perfect. You're so funny one. And so yeah, it was just one of those things that was so cool. Hey, gals, ghosts, and ladies, good to see you. Oh my gosh. If you guys have not followed Girls, Ghosts, and Ladies, please make sure to check them out. Uh, I love the Jeopardy trivia. And actually, thankfully, Previously Possessed was the one who was posting the stuff. So I got a bit of a preview there. So I went in and checked it out, and great show. Make sure you head over there and you hit like and subscribe. And yeah, so we had that conversation. So I documented it. Tried to add it too, because if any of you know, oh, prayers, William. So yeah, so I documented it, and I was fine keeping, because literally he said his name once and that was it, which was fine. Because people like their privacy. I'm perfectly fine with that. The photo that I had screenshot from the Maine Wildlife page with a woman I've been talking to down east and stuff there, she had joined the Eastern Ghost Cats Facebook page, and she had noticed that I'd put it in a comment because somebody had put down on the thing, well, I'd really like to see the photo. And I said, I have a screenshot of it. I do not have permission to share it, and I won't share it until I get the okay. The woman did give me permission. I did actually put her name on the photo because it's her photo, it's not mine. And then on Wednesday, she reached out to me with another photo, but this time it's a bobcat in the same area, and it's daytime. So there's so much more detail, and it gives me so much more to go on with like size comparison and the area itself, which was perfect. Still don't have permission to go down there. And like I said, I most likely won't now, just because it's for me to collect any eDNA or anything. The timeline's been too long and stuff. I'm just glad to see you back, William. Anytime that you can get in, I know that it's hard. Life is busy. There's a lot going on. You're dealing with a lot, but we're so thankful when you do pop in and say hi. We really are. And make sure you check out William's show as well, if Sam can put it in the comment section there in the link. So everybody, make sure you guys get over to these shows. She's putting all of the links up. Make sure you get over there. You like, subscribe, follow these people. Let's just keep helping everybody climb. That's what it's all about, is keep climbing and respect. We do a great job here with that. Excuse me. So that's what I'm going to do at the closer to the end of the show, is I figure I will go over those photos with you guys, get your opinion on what you guys think of the photos and stuff. just because I like to just have other people's opinions. That's what it's about. It's not just, what do I think? It helps having other people's opinions on things and just, conversing back and forth. But on Thursday morning, I wake up, head off to work. Like I said, it's been a very, very busy week. And while I was at work, I always check my phone. There we go. Thank you, Sam. You're awesome. Best executive producer ever. You are too. I really miss you. I can't wait until you're back. But I'm glad you're having time with your family. And is your dad doing better? Sorry, I'm going to get off topic, but where Sam's right there. I just want to make sure. I hope he's doing much, much better now. So yeah, Thursday morning I'm at work and I have a message, and it's not like from, my Facebook friends or anything. It's just saying somebody wants to send me a message. And so I get on there and there is a gentleman who, his message, let me see if I can I wrote everything down. I mean, this is like constant. This is like my life. It's just notebook after notebook after notebook. Yeah, so I received a direct message on Messenger from this gentleman, and it stated that, where he lives in Maine, which is actually not very, very far from me at all. And he said that he has a firsthand real life story in regards to mountain lions breeding here in the state of Maine, which I was like, okay, this is really intriguing. And then he said, feel free to reach out to him, anytime. So, me, I'm going to jump right on that. So I messaged him back immediately when I saw the message and said, I appreciate him reaching out. Was wondering if there'd be a time that we could talk sometime later on Thursday or, Friday, whatever was more convenient for him. And and so he was like, oh no, this evening works just fine. Here's my phone number. And so we set up a time to talk. I got home from work, got settled, and made my husband supper. And then I'm stepping outside because I live in a dead zone. All right, sounds good. That sounds really good, William. Yeah, well, I've had internet issues. Last Sunday, I froze and then I got kicked out and had to shut everything down and jump back on. And yeah, it was a fiasco. It was the second time it's happened so far tonight, but I haven't tried to bring up pictures. And like I said, I do want to try that more towards the end, just because I do want everybody's opinion. I just want to know what you guys think. So. Is good. He's back walking, which is good. He's been coming in December. And ah, awesome, Sam. Oh, Benno, good to see you. Well, thank you for listening while you drive to work. I appreciate it. I really do. I appreciate all the support from everybody. It does mean a lot. I literally used to just, when I did my research, I'd have a few choice, close circle friends that I would discuss stuff with, but never the way that I am now. And Richie had said it best the other day, where I've come a long way because I didn't like to do any of this stuff. And I actually will say straight up that it is all due to Richie. Richie and Wojo have really shown me, that it's better to do it this way. Gatekeeping is not good. I have trust issues. They both know it when it comes to people, but I've really opened up a lot. And I found that this family, though, is very, very awesome. It's a great place. It's a safe place. And like I said, we can agree to disagree, and there's no arguing. There's no backstabbing. It's great. That's what we do. Richie's a lot. Oh, Richie is a lot. So anyways, so I went out and I called the gentleman. Um, he was fine with me documenting. He was fine with me giving his name. So his name is Tom. Um, he lives in the Dresden area, and he wanted to just kind of tell me his story, which I thought was great. Oh, thank you, Wojo. I feel the love. I do. Yes. And and so I was like, all right, I'll write it down. And it was actually a very, very neat case, because I had never had anybody. I mean, I've had people discuss where they have seen juveniles. I've had mine. I've had people that have seen two juveniles with a larger one. But his stood out a lot when he was talking. And he said that this was it was either 2023 or 2024. It was in June. He was driving on a dirt road close to his home. And as he's going along, he sees an animal coming out. It was probably, 200 feet up. And he sees it coming out. And at first he thought, due to the color of it, it was a deer. And so, he kept going, just going slow, because, he didn't want to hit anything. And when the animal got out into the middle of the road, that's when he noticed. He goes, "That's not a deer." He goes, "That is a very large cat." And he said the tail on it was thick, it was long, it was tawny colored, but it just walked across and went into the woods. So he was still driving. He's cautious because he didn't know if the thing was going to come back or what, because it wasn't like in a hurry of going anywhere. And then he said that's when he noticed the side that large feline went into. Out comes another animal, and it just kind of wobbling along the road. So he slows right down. And he said when it crossed over to the other side, it tripped on the grass because it was so wobbly and unsure on its feet, and fell over. He goes, "And this thing's 10 feet from me." He said, "I've got my window down." He goes, "And I looked down." He goes, "And it's a cub." He said, "That thing was looking up at me." He said, "And the eyes were just like the biggest." He goes, "But they almost look like the saddest eyes ever." He goes, "The thing couldn't have been very old at all." And that was astounding to me, because I've never heard of one like that. The one that I saw, I said, was probably 5 to 6 months old. The ones that other reports that I've gotten, they've been about that age, maybe a little bit bigger, but I've never had anybody come to me with a story of one that young. And he was going over the detail of it and stuff. And he has quite a bit of property. I did ask him, as we were going through, he was just continuing on with his story and stuff, but I did ask him if he did report it, and he said no. He goes, "Because I have reported to wardens." He said, "I've had eagles fighting on my property, literally just going at each other." He goes, "Where one was wounded." And he said, "They're like, let life take its course." And I was like, that's weird, because, usually they want to know this stuff. But he said he has reported other stuff, and they've more or less like just blown it off. So he said, no, he says, "I'm not even going to bother, because with this here," he says, "I'm just going to be told that's not what it is." So we did have a lengthy conversation about the reports that come in, and he had talked to other people about the stuff. Am I still here? Because it's like I'm just trying to figure out, because chat's kind of stopped, and usually it keeps going. So I want to make sure that I have not froze. So could somebody just give me a check to make, please? If not, I'm going to grab my phone real quick. Check, check. Am I here? And where am I talking to myself again? Which would be the first time. Hello? Can anybody see me? Okay. Yes, good. Okay. Thank you. Thank you. I was like, yeah, they do. They dismiss everything. And hey, Susan, how are you? I just got nervous. Sorry, guys, but I've been froze a couple times. I've been kicked off, and I just want to make sure that we're all good. Because, like I said, no, it wouldn't be the first time. There was one show I thought I was live and stuff that had nothing to do with him kicking me off, and I'm talking right away, and then all of a sudden I see in the comments of "Where's Jean?" and Wojo's like, "She's sleeping, she's taking a nap," and realized that I've been talking to for 10 minutes about what the topic was, saying hi to everybody, and I was just talking to myself. So that's just my life, you know. Um, it's a really interesting thing. Quiet chat today. Yeah, no, it has been going pretty good, but I don't mind when they're quiet. It was just it had stopped like on my end. And I know Restream has been really weird with the chats lately because Richie can only see usually like 3 comments at a time, and it doesn't keep up. It won't let him keep up and stuff. So I just wanted to make sure. Oh, it's funny. So, yeah. So, I mean, they do. And that was one of the things. I mean, I told him about, sitting down with the current biologist, the former one, and just journalists who have actually spoken to him and get the same response with people that bring their reports to them, and it's just it gets dismissed so easily, and people get frustrated very quickly with that, and it's understandable. It really is, because there's just it's just a pain, because it's like you feel like you're being told you're lying when you're not. You know what you saw, and like I said, a lot of times 80% of them are misidentification. But then here you go, you got 20% that's not. So there's something there. I did tell him, too, that I do know that there's 4 in the state of Maine as pets, which he kind of flipped out on. And everything. He says, because he didn't realize. And I said, yeah. But that's what you just got to keep looking into things. Make sure you get the timer as well. Yeah, definitely. Listen to Curious. She's smart. So, all right. I'm going to go back to the one a couple weeks back there that I had talked about. And now I can show the photos, just because I want the opinion of you guys. I want to know what you guys think of this. And you can just tell me straight up. I'm not going to care one way or the other. I do care what you say. Don't take that the wrong way. It's just, I know what my thoughts are on it, and I know we can do. Yeah, and that's the thing. Okay, BMO, you are completely correct. Okay, this is a set of sightings that they supposedly got. This is 3 pages. Okay, this goes from 1977 to 1995. Then I got a more updated one, which is this many pages. And this is from a lot of hard work and a lot of getting on their case. But I also share some of my stuff with them a little bit to make sure that we can counteract. But these are report sightings that they have. This does not even cover half, okay? Because most of the time these reports go unreported because they don't want to have the ridicule or be told that that's not what they're saying. Entering the unknown, good to see you. Glad you can make it. And yeah, so I mean, and that's what I did. I mean, I had to share a lot of the stuff that I have, newspaper articles, different things. I was talking to the gentleman, Tom, there, and said, yeah, and there's people that are scared, because I did have somebody also the next day direct message me, and his only message was, you need to talk to the outdoorsmen. And that was it. And then the message disappeared, so I couldn't even respond. And my thing is I have talked to outdoorsmen, the ones that will talk to me, because there's a lot of them that won't, because they don't want to have these things listed here again, because they're afraid that if they do, they're not going to be able to hunt in certain areas anymore. So there's a lot going on with this whole topic, and it's very controversial. And when I first started doing it, I did have somebody say, please watch your back, because this is a very, very controversial topic, and they didn't want to see me get a lot of hate and discontent from it, which I do at times. And other times it's just a lot of ridicule, which I'm used to. I don't like it, but I can also give it back. I've got a mouth on me, and believe me, I am not afraid to use it if I need to. I can come back with some good stuff. And because I treat everybody the way that I'm treated. You want to start coming down on me and telling me that I'm an idiot and I'm this and that. Well, it's not going to set well. But anyways, let's go on to this photo. I want to know what you guys think of it, okay? And attachment 4. All right, sorry. Images. So I hope I don't freeze with this because, yeah, last week it was not nice to me. All right, let's go to 4. And let's see if this is the one. I'm hoping this is the one. I'm hoping this is the one because I actually downloaded one off of Google too for a comparison. No, that's the comparison. Never mind. Just because I wanted to size the hunch and stuff. But this is off of another trail cam of a place that actually has them and stuff. But this, let's remove it. There we go. Yay, it actually did it and didn't freeze on me. So let's go back up here and see. They told me it was in another order and it wasn't. So, all right, here we go. Yeah, so this is the photo that was put up on the Maine Wildlife page. I saw the thing. I messaged the woman at like a little after 7 in the morning when I saw it, because I had seen it. And then I go through the comments and there's like 3 people that were tagging me into this because they wanted me to see this photo. And so I did. I reached out. About 2 hours later, she got back to me. And all she had stated in the photo when she put it up there was, "Can somebody tell me what this is?" And I'm looking at it, and the mouse isn't going to work for you guys, I'm sure. But I'm looking at the hunch on this thing. I'm looking at the shape of the ears. Okay. I'm looking and seeing that there's no extra fur on the side of the face. And then if you look at the tail, you look at the thickness and it goes back out of the photo. Okay. And it goes out. It's not in. So yeah, I was watch those cougars when I go into the woods. Oh, okay. Sorry. That wasn't a laugh. I tell everybody when you go in though, it's most of the time when you go in, you don't have to worry about what's on the ground. I tell everybody to look up because these things spend a lot of time in trees, a lot of time in trees. But yeah, so I'm looking at the thing and by the size of it, and like I said, I sent it to the Vogels, I sent it to the podcast crew, and I sent it to another colleague of mine just because I like other people's opinions on it. My thoughts is by what I just said, okay, with a hunch, the shape of the head, the ears, no extra fur, and that tail going out of the frame. Because bobcat tails, yes, sometimes they stick out, but most of the time they go right back down. Okay. I lean more towards it being a mountain lion. And that's just my opinion. Thanks, John. And so I did. You already saw the other photo. So that's what I was trying to get at. But what I also did, though, too, when I had this photo, is I decided I want to see what images I can find of bobcats at night to see if I can get any that are similar. And so let me see if I can pull up. And so this All right, so let me see if I can remove that. All right, so am I still here? Because this thing says, oops, connection is lost. So I don't even know. I had to switch things up. My monitor is now gone. So, yeah, well, that's what I thought too. But then I said, like, I was pulling up photos and stuff. I'm going to stop right now because I don't know what's going on with this thing. I do want to at some point if I get a chance. Yeah, the second one was a bobcat. But that actually, even with it, looking at it and stuff, it didn't have the hunch. It did have the extra fur on the side of the face. The ears were shaped different. Brother Littlefoot. Oh, good to see you, Brother Littlefoot. Someone who has seen 2 tan panthers in North Carolina mountains. Brothers, 2 witnesses. I believe what we are witnessing in many areas is unlisted subspecies. Yeah, I get the subspecies thing a lot. The issue that a lot of even I've come across even with scientists in universities who have done studies is it's very hard to tell to separate eastern and western mountain lions because they are this. I know that they use the term subspecies, but they are actually the same species. It's the only they were able to with the University of Montreal tell the difference between South American and North American because there is a big difference between those, but they weren't able to tell if some of the cats that they had seen were what they had the DNA from. They weren't able to establish whether they were actually Eastern or if they were Western and had traveled here because of the fact that they were so close. I'm sure that there's tests they could do to actually do more, but when it comes to these projects, a lot of times it comes down to funding. I was just happy that they were able to find samples and confirm that there are cougars in the East, although they will still say no breeding population. So we're back to no, there are none because there's no breeding population. So that's what the research that I do is all about. I've seen them sometimes have brown looking cheeks too, and they move like a streak ghost when they're running. Yeah, well, that's why, like I said, that's why I like the term ghost cat, just because they are so stealthy. I know that they have 40 different names, but I really do like the term ghost cat. That's the one that I use the most. All right, so I'm going to try one time here again to bring up a photo, and hopefully I don't get booted out of here. Yeah. Yeah, they get denied all the time, and it's frustrating as anything. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to see if I could put up the comparison photos and not get kicked out. So bear with me, please, and thank you. No, it took, what the heck? No, it took it away. Damn it. All right, I got to go into files. I'm going to try something real quick here. It doesn't kick me out, so that's good. But I really, 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 really want this one up here. Thank you. All right, let's back out. Okay. I'm back. Hey, Jason, how are you? Jason Finch in the house. All right. Yes, I can't do it as well as Richie and Mojo do it. I sound foolish when I do it. All right. So I don't dare to pull up separate pictures anymore. So I'm going to do the dual ones and see if that works. And let's see. Okay. So bottom photo, same area, but I love this daytime one because you can actually see that the first one is actually behind a log, okay? And couldn't see that before. I'm trying to get the woman, though, on the property to measure from the stick that is kind of bent down, it's crooked, to see what the measurement is for that. But you've got the bobcat on the bottom one during the daylight, and you can actually, it's a little blurry because it was in motion when the photo was taken. But what I like about it is you can see the ears are shaped different, and it has the extra fur. And I really, 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 really like the fact that she had sent me that so I could get some type of comparison. Of course, we have black cats as well here. I've only seen one huge one, though. I love this stuff. Yeah. I'm doing all right, Jason. Thank you. It's been a long, long week. I decided to kind of keep everything simple tonight. And then, yeah, I started losing my connection. Thankfully, I haven't been booted out. I haven't brought up many photos. I was trying, but then it started to freeze. So I have just kind of gone over what's been going on in the last couple of weeks and just how all of a sudden my phone's blowing up with people wanting to be part of the Eastern Ghost Cat Research Group. People calling me. How that gentleman got my phone number, I have no idea. I'm fine with it because he just wanted to tell his sighting and have me document it, but he wanted his name off it, which I'm fine with too. I tell everybody if they'd rather have it anonymous, I'm okay with that, just because of the fact that people don't like the ridicule. And I'm more than happy to document the stuff and leave it anonymous, because I don't want them to feel like they're obligated. They're actually doing me a great favor here, because being able to document it, if you watched the show, I think it was not last week, it's the week prior, that I download topo maps for each of the counties, and it's like a jigsaw puzzle to me. But when I get these sighting reports, and I can go over what I have from Inland Fisheries and Wildlife, and I can start Xing things off, and I can start coordinating areas, trying to come up with patterns and stuff and timelines, because, they do have a lifespan. So, one that was there in 2006 isn't going to be there now, but was how many reports came in between, because then you can kind of calculate, was this okay? So this could have been the same one. Could this be a different one, or could this one be an offspring? So I just try to look for patterns, try to just see what I can come up with. And now being able to do the eDNA stuff, it's very helpful. If I don't, and like I said, even if I do all this work and I don't find anything, which I don't believe is going to happen, but if I don't find anything, I don't think it's a waste of time. This is a topic it's controversial, but it needs answers, and that's what I want to do. Is I want to get answers. So I'm going to remove that, because we're getting to the end of the show. I don't want to tie everybody up. But yeah, I did want to go over stuff. Official said, nope, none here. My father called him on his. Yeah. Well, I did the same thing with my state biologist when I sat down with him. We had a discussion. He didn't like my response on how lame I think their protection is. He insulted me a couple times, but then turned around at the end of it and told me I'm doing a great job, and if I want to share anything, please share. Well, it's like, I will share what I want when I can, but I'm not giving them everything I've got, because not going to happen. Same here. Big cats, black panthers are jaguars, and seen all over in the deeps. Yeah. I actually had spoken to a gentleman a month and a half ago about a black panther sighting he had, and when he was describing it, and his was in Maine, but we also do think that one might have been a pet. I wasn't told of any by the state biologist, but I was told of the mountain lions. We weren't going over the black cats. But his description, there was no way in heck that was a mountain lion. It was from the description of the size of the head, the body, the girth of this thing. It had to have been a jaguar. It was just, yeah. And the way that he was talking, how it was kind of like crawling like right low to the ground, just kind of hitching around, like it was going after something. It was insane. No, I have not ever seen a black mountain lion. They say that there's no way that they can be melanistic, but I don't agree with that either. They may not carry the gene that much, but that doesn't mean that there's not an anomaly out there. I had an episode that went on, we discussed melanistic animals along with leucistic ones, which those ones are white, but they're not albino. They actually still have blue or brown eyes. And there's like, you've got to go through a lot of, when I research, I deep dive. It's insane. And I go down all these rabbit holes, which is crazy. That's why today I decided I'm going to take it easy and just kind of, go over my research. I'm still here making salmon patties. Oh, wow. There you go, Sam. I can't do that stuff. I can't have any seafood. It's awful. I can't have anything. I have a fish allergy. I also have a salt water allergy too. I can't even swim in the ocean, which sucks because I would love to. So I'm going to wrap things up. I appreciate everybody being here. I want to remind everybody that Wojo show this week is Home of the Boom. Will be on Wednesday night at 7. Tuesday night they have a ball game, so that they are so they're just going to switch it over one. Friday night, make sure you check out the amazing and super talented Sam from Sam's Pretty Paranormal. She will be downloading one more show. She still has family in town, but she said she would be back as of July 31st, if I'm not mistaken. I believe that's what she had said. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Because even so, the coloration and stuff in the fur can be darker at times. I mean, the ones out here look more like the deer that we have. They've got they are the tawny, the tannish, reddish, rusty almost color. But I know that some of them are like a light tan. Some of them are gray. It goes all over. I mean, they're not uniformed color wise. There's just no way. So yeah, there's no reason for them to say, "Hey Z, how are you?" And then Saturday night, make sure you check out Mr. Richie B, the big boss man, as I like to call him, the big boss man, Mr. Richie B, and his co-host Wojo. Their show will be 7:00 Saturday night. Not sure. Keep an eye out. Make sure that you follow, because sometimes they go live in the woods and you don't want to miss that. They have a great time. And then, of course, next Sunday I will be back. Not sure what my show is going to be about, because I've got a lot going on with the following show that's going to be the next week. So I don't know. I might end up taking a week off, because that one's going to be a good show, a long show. But I'm hoping to be on. So we'll just figure it out. I'll send out the posts and stuff when it's time. Good night, everybody. God bless. Great to have you all here. And remember, when it comes to life and in research, my motto is sometimes you just got to say, what the hell? Good night, guys. Bye.